Walter Murch, the acclaimed film editor, devised 6 rules of editing based on his extensive expertise. Let's take a look at them, shall we? We'll start with the story, as often films generally do themselves. An edit to advance the story will usually be a tool to follow characters or events, especially during montages. Often it can be the simplest way to get from A to B.
The story can bring into effect another rule of 6, the eye trace. In order for the story to advance, it's important as the audience to know where your focus of interest should be. For example, if I indicate the spy in the corner, you may want to know about a lunatic outside the door.
Of course, knowing when to cut is important too, which brings another rule into play, the rhythm. There's nothing set in concrete about this particular rule, it's more to do with feeling. When an edit occurs, it's crucial that it's at the right moment, otherwise you may be lingering on a shot for too long, which then becomes slightly awkward. Likewise, you don't want to cut it too early.
Rhythm ties in very close with another rule, emotion, especially as characters and events develop and battle through their trials and tribulations. The emotional edit focuses on the moment of the unfolding narrative. It can also bring together other previously mentioned rules. For example, the apocalypse is coming. Oh well.
The last 2 rules focus on the dimensions of the universe presented on screen. The first is the 3D space of action. This rule of editing respects the continuity between the objects and characters presented on screen, relative to each other. But Walter Murch himself views this as the least important rule. And this is understandable, as it's really the job of the film crew to make sure that the same people, props, costume, furniture, etc. remain from shot to shot to establish a seamless, comprehensive flow of action. Because frankly, if they can't get that right, what can they do?
Our final rule is a 2D plane of screen. This not only respects the next dimension, but why they appear on screen. Probably the best indicator of this is the 180-degree rule. In a scene of conversation, for example, 2 people will be facing each other, so the audience would expect to see one person from one way and the other person from the other way. Again, this more or less boils down to the competence of the film crews themselves, because what's more irritating than getting used to 2 people in established places, then cutting to shots where they have already moved? And it's irritating because you haven't been able to follow the action properly.
Walter Murch has indicated that emotion is the most valuable rule, with rhythm and eye trace following closely behind. This is a strong indicator that he has the audience firmly in mind whilst in the editing suite. What a thoughtful